Hey guys, so I'm going to tell you a quick story. Yes, I am in my pajamas, and the reason why my hair is wet and I'm in my mom's car is because I just got out of the shower a few minutes ago, and everywhere people are talking and stuff. I just really want to make a video, so my channel will be about rescue animals, and so yeah, let's just get right into it. So, the first animal that I want to talk about is because he's here in the house, like at the end I'll show you him. His name's George. And he has a girlfriend, Sarah, but I won't talk about Sarah. Like, if I mention her to you, it's because she's also part of the story. So, George. So, my grandma went out to smoke a cigarette and like to let her dogs out, and she noticed that she heard barking from Benji and Maggie, her two dogs that she has. So she went down there to check. She saw these dogs, two dogs, George and Sarah, and so she's like, oh my goodness, these are dogs and they look awful. George, who had long fur at the time, was matted, so mad. So was Sarah, and you could smell rot. It was both of their mouths. It was awful. Sarah had a big lump on her stomach, and it was out, like, I won't tell you what. And so, George, he has huge eyes, and his tongue's like all the time because he doesn't have any teeth to like support it. So whenever she found him, she took him in, she gave him a bath, and she called my mom because my mom has rescued so many animals in the past. And so my mom's like, I'll have to call my friend Kim. She rescues animals for a living. And she's like, Kim, I won't say her last name because that's none of y'all's business. So she called Kim, and she's like, oh, my mom, somebody dropped two dogs off in her yard. And so whenever like that happened, like my mom told her, she's like, oh, okay, I'll raise money for y'all to bring them to the vet and stuff. And so she ended up paying for it. And whenever we brought them to the vet, we expected them to be like 10 years old, but because their teeth were already rotting, and the vet said that they were 3 to 5 years old, like that's like their ages. And so it was like very frustrating that somebody would do that to a dog, and they were like in really poor condition too whenever they dropped them off. And so my mom said, found two dogs in my mom's yard, took pictures of them and put them on Facebook, and then somebody commented, that's my dogs. And she's like, well, you ain't getting them back, sweetie, because how poorly they were taking care of the puppies. And so the reason why George's eyes were like that, and the reason why Sarah had the lump in her, which the lump ended up having her ovaries, like either her ovaries or her the thing the babies grow in. I think y'all know what it's called. I forgot what the name is. Like, I can't remember it. No, okay, so like it erupted, and so if she got pregnant one more time, she would have died. So luckily she caught them. They got fixed at the vet. George got fixed, and like his eyes are like that because they outbred him. Like they bred him terribly and stuff. And like every time Sarah was in heat, they'd breed him, and that's really unhealthy. And so after they've gone to the vet, George, all his teeth were rotted, so they had to go to Louisiana, the Louisiana vet. I'm not from Louisiana, and I won't tell you where I'm from, but they had to drive like a really long way to go to the Louisiana vet. And so once they were there, they had to pull out all his teeth, and like sew up his whole mouth because he has sores in there. And same thing to Sarah, but she only had one. She has one tooth, so we call her Hillbilly. And now, like, my grandma's like, I'll probably just get rid of them, like give them to some new people. But she ended up never actually doing that, and she keeps them now. And now she has 4 dogs, and well, actually 5 dogs now. And yeah, so let's go see George.